The stock fuel injectors do not flow enough fuel to support the kind of horsepower we are making on the 6-liter in the V8 jet ski. Now this poses a problem because not enough fuel generally ends in bad things happening. Now, I've got a tried and true method of making the fuel injectors flow more fuel. I'm gonna go ahead and decap these injectors so that it will be able to supply enough fuel to support the kind of horsepower we are making on this 6-liter LS engine. I'm not gonna go full in depth on this, just kind of a quick overview. This isn't a tutorial about how to do this. This is just showing me doing this for the V8 jet ski build. I've got 2 injectors here. They are the same except for one has been decapped. The standard one looks like this. It has this little restrictor plate with 2 little holes. Here is a decapped one with that restrictor plate removed, and it just shows the main pintle. The reason for doing this is that the injector will flow a lot more fuel with the restrictor plate removed. And it's a lot more cost effective than buying a new set of injectors. The drawback to doing this is you don't have these small little holes that are supposed to, provide better fuel atomization and sort of a fuel spray pattern. But at this point, we're just trying to get fuel into the engine, and we don't give a crap about atomization or spray patterns. So I will say that probably the hardest thing is getting the angle of grinding done properly. And the reason why that matters is because you don't want to nick the pintle, and that would possibly cause leakage on the fuel injector, or if you grind too much off, it's definitely going to cause leakage on the fuel injector. Once I'm done, I do need to flow test these, make sure that they're not leaking, and also make sure they're within a certain percentage of one another. Because if one flows way more or way less than the other ones, then that would be a bad thing. Now, as far as flowing them to see how much they flow, the hard work on that has already been done for me, and there's data sheets on these injectors that show the amount of flow that they have once they're decapped. I really wanted to use the drill press to do this, so that would take out one of the variables, but the injectors wobbled around too much in here, so doing it like this and then kind of holding it worked out fine. And I used a cut wheel instead of flapper disc because this wasn't gonna have any little pieces of sandpaper flapping around and nicking these things on the pintle. They all turned out well as far as grinding the caps off. And now we're gonna have to flow test and make sure that they all flow a similar amount of fluid. I'm all set up. I have a way to turn my fuel pump on. I've got my fuel injector activator tool set up. All right, let's go ahead and test this. Okay, this is with 10 pushes of the old button. Wish I had an easy way to bleed this system off. I do have an easy way to bleed the system off. Fuel pump on. Okay, I'm gonna do this multiple times, make sure they're consistent. getting the air out of it. Crap. Oh, that's not good. I'm going to plug into one of the still capped injectors, and I'm going to run the exact same test just to see the flow numbers that we get from it. Okay, this is testing a stock one, non-decapped, at 10 pulses. Okay. I just want to give a quick reminder that this is not a tutorial on flowing injectors. It's just what I'm doing to make sure that these injectors will work well as a set when I install them in this engine. And the big thing I'm looking for is similar flow numbers. The highest number I have is 54 milliliters, and the slowest, or not slowest, the lowest is the 50 milliliters. So I just did some maths, converted in percentages, and between our 54 and 50, that is an 8% difference. And I would like to tighten that up a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is see if I can clean and retest that one, and then I'll retest this 54, double check it, and see what the numbers are on that again. I decapped one more injector to give me a nice set that's within 4% of each other. The one that was the lowest value, that really was what it was, so I made another one to replace that one, and now I'm within 4%, so I think that's pretty good. Also, I did go to the junkyard and I purchased a new alternator, used alternator. The reason that I bought used is because it's probably going to stop working because of where it's located. So a cheap alternator is the way to go for what I'm doing. Obviously, the real solution is a marine alternator, but I'm not quite there yet. I'm just trying to do other stuff first.
Oh, marine alternator. Okay, I forgot that might be a thing that would be a good option, yeah.
So, injectors, the stock ones will flow enough to support 400 horsepower, naturally aspirated, and now they will support 1100 horsepower, a little bit more than 1100 horsepower decapped. So, and that's just naturally aspirated, so with boost and E85 that changes. So we got a lot more potential for horsepower in the engine with just decapping the injectors. And once things get really serious, then I'll probably have to buy a set of injectors.
Or somebody is gonna send you some for free. You hear that, whoever you are?
True, I could probably get
What companies make injectors?
Holley sells injectors.
Oh.
We're gonna need a set.
We're gonna need a set eventually.
Not sure what size yet, so I'll let you know later. I've just got to get all this crap installed. We are going to go into the computer, tell it that we have bigger injectors, and then we're going to fire it up and make sure it still runs and see kind of where the fuel trims are and make sure everything's nice and happy.
Sick.
Also going to make sure that the battery is charging. I'm going to run this V8 jet ski. I'm going to start with the original tune that we had on last time it ran. Not the original tune, but what it had last time it ran. Just going to convert over to the larger injectors in the computer here and load it onto the ECU. Then after that, we are going to see if we can make that 480 horsepower LS2 or LS3 tune run on this engine. explain this as best I can, but while idling out there, it doesn't run exactly right, and I believe it had the same problem the last time I ran it on the hose. And the reason I say that is because it has a surge out and idle, and you all heard that on the last video, obviously, and on this one, I'm sure. And what that is the engine is thinking that it runs lean. So, well, I mean, it's running lean, and I can see that. I can see it today because I can actually see my computer screen. And what it's doing is it's closing the idle air control valve all the way because it's lean, and I've got the throttle body adjusted so it's all the way closed. And the issue comes in where basically it runs lean at an idle. Once you start to give it some throttle, it sort of can compensate for whatever is going on. So my initial thought is like some sort of an air leak somewhere, and basically what I'm gonna do is kind of tear into this thing, see what I find, and I've started tearing into it already. I'm hoping to find something so that I can make it work properly, and I didn't even think about addressing the idle surge. I just kind of thought, whatever, it's, you know, idle air control tuning, and I'm not gonna worry about it. And it turns out it was probably something else, but I didn't look, so it's kind of my fault for not checking into it in the first place. But anyways, here we are. I'm gonna try to fix it. Hopefully, fingers crossed, knock on wood and all that crap. So right now I'm taking the intake manifold off so I can take a look at the gaskets. I want to see if there's something screwy going on with that stuff. Milo, are you happy? Good. Okay. Milo seems to have taken ownership of that sea-doo, but back to what I'm doing here. So, something that I see, the wires for the knock sensors are kind of crushed, like maybe there's not enough space for them? I don't know. So I'm gonna pull those out, put it all back together, fire it up, see if it still has that hissing noise like it has a vacuum leak, or how it runs and how the air fuels are. And geez, we'll go from there. This is turned into something really annoying. This is me fixing the intake and still the regular tune, or the initial bass tune. Alright, still not great. Maybe better, but still not good.
Me and Milo came to watch Josh work on the jet ski, but Milo doesn't want to. We don't want Milo to play in the water this time because he doesn't have his. Well, we don't want him to ruin these clothes yet, but we're just kicking back and watching.
Alright, now we're gonna load that LS2 on there. Can't remember if I have to auto set every time I change the tune or not. Well, let's try to start it and see what happens.
All right, we're gonna be great. We're gonna be safe. What?
No, keep them on, Milo. Just keep them on.
There we go.
Good.
Naughty, naughty. Sometimes you just can't. He's definitely drooling on my hand quite a bit. Kids got no respect these days.
Well, that's interesting. Apparently that tune is a lot closer to what this engine wants.
Wow.
It still has the exact same problem, but this tune makes the engine more happy.
Okay. Well, once we get that tune in the mail from Richard Holdner, it'll work.
I don't think he does that. Well, just in case you guys were wondering, the reason the LS2 tune didn't work the other day is because I thought I'd gone through all the sensors, but I didn't go through the spot where you switch it from 58 to 24 tooth, and some of you mentioned that, and you guys were right on the money with that. And now, basically, I gotta get the smoker machine, figure out my vacuum leak, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, it was hitting its target air fuel perfect on that tune, so I just go figure. I don't even know anymore. I know just enough to know that I don't know what I'm doing.
I absolutely don't know what you're doing, and I know you're gonna get it, so I don't really care.
Like I can tell that the ECU is trying to take air away from the idle, because the idle air control is at 0, and the throttle body, I have that thing closed all the way, and it's just trying to take air away. So somehow it's getting extra air that it's not supposed to. I really don't know much to say about that, but you know, the injectors work, which is the whole point of this video. There's just a different issue that's kind of screwing me up right now.
Milo likes working on stuff. I think we're gonna have to do, I don't know. He needs his own LS engine to work on or something. And he can lift, so I don't think there's gonna be an issue with weight. Oh, is that drool? No. How about those other JetSki YouTube channels you guys watch? How are they doing?
Just so you guys know, I am getting a new idle air control valve as well. That could also be the problem. Just because the computer is telling it to go to 0% doesn't mean that it's actually doing it. So I'm gonna get a new one of those. There's a possibility that this thing is locked up. So I'm gonna get a new one and see if that helps. Getting the smoke machine to test for vacuum leaks, and getting a new one of these to rule out this being the issue. Hopefully between those two things we'll get a fix for this high idle that this engine has.
Guys, remember to hit the thumbs up button to help us out in the algorithm. Come on. We know we're your favorite V8 JetSki YouTube channel. Come on, give us some algorithm points. Give us a thumbs up.
If you want to see more V8 JetSki videos, then you click on the screen wherever I have it linked on there. It will be the playlist. Place them all in order. That's for this one, and I'll see you guys in the next video.